Hello, it's Miss Bierman. I'm going to today show you how to make your puppet mouth. So I've got my sock. I've got the template that I cut out. So you would have probably done that already. You have a piece of paper that has a variety of templates on it, and you just cut out the one you want. Then you have your tag board. Place your template on your tag board, hold it, and trace it the best that you can. There we go. So I've got that. I'm going to cut that out with my scissors. And remember, this is cardstock. This is a stiff piece of paper because you want your puppet mouth to hold up, as you use the mouth the most on the puppet, at least this type of puppet. All right, so there we go. I've got that cut out, and then I need to trace it and cut it out of my fabric. So this will be the inside of the mouth. I just find it easier to trace the cardstock, so I'm just going to do that. And then I'm going to cut this piece out. First, I'm going to free it out of its large piece. That's easier for me to cut it. And I can remove this and cut this guy out. We've talked about, different types of fabrics, and some are easier to cut than others. If the fabric's very, very thick, it can be challenging, but if the fabric is very thin and slippery, that is also challenging. So do the best you can. Ask for help if you need it. And now I've got the tag board and the fabric. I don't need the template anymore. That's just to help me get the shape. So first I'm going to take the tag board and I'm going to fold it in half. Now this fold here needs to be nice and creased. So I'm going to take my thumbnail, I'm going to go over it a few times, and then I'm going to flip it around and go over it a few times again. So you want it to be able to bend back and forth really well, like that. Okay, and then next is the glue. I don't want to get glue on my floor. I'm going to here we go. I've got a little piece of cloth I can put underneath. Okay, so I've got my cardstock mouth. Now I'm going to take my glue. So Elmer's glue that I'm using works great. Hot glue also works well. Glue stick, I don't really know. I haven't ever tried it. But you see I've got the glue all the way up to the edge, and then I spread it out in the middle. Okay, so I've got the glue on my cardstock puppet mouth, and I need to glue this onto the inside of my sock. My sock has an outside and an inside, so I'm going to flip it around, turn it inside out. Okay? And then when you can see where the mouth is going to go. If you put your hand in there, and the bottom, because this is my thumb here, so it's going to go like this. And so you have to find the right spot. And you notice there's a heel on your sock. And I find if I get the heel on the back of my hand, like that, and you can see this line here, and the heel ends up being here, about on my wrist. It might be a little further down for you if your hands are a bit smaller. Okay, and then I'm going to take my cardstock mouth that I've glued, and I'm going to place it carefully on my sock puppet. My hand's still in there, but I'm going to take my hand out. It's a little difficult to glue it on there with my hand in there, but I can see where it's going to go. See, I need to press it down nice and flat. Make sure that it's not coming off. Okay, If you get any glue on the edges, you can wipe that off. And now I'm going to just test it. And remember, my sock is still inside out. And so it's going to be like this. It's better to glue the fabric part down after this part has dried, because you have to turn the sock back inside out for the fabric part. So you need to let that inside part dry enough that you can turn it inside out and you can it's still attached there. And I can feel it in there. Maybe you can even see the edges of it. Okay, so now I'm going to add the fabric. So the cardstock's on the inside. Here's the fabric. I have to add the glue again. Get the glue to the edges. And then in the center. And then I'm going to carefully put this right where that cardstock was. And again, give it a good press. Like that. And then, once it's dry, you'll be able to get your hand in there. Mine's not dry yet, but you'll be able to get your hand in there and you'll have your mouth. But let it dry first. If you put your hand in here like I did, you might knock some things loose. So now you're just going to let it dry. And then the next class we have, we're going to talk about sewing onto your sock puppet with the whip stitch. But this is how you create the puppet mouth. Thank you.